NCDC to the people. It was during your time as chairman that a lot of people even knew that. Yes, it was your time that when you were commissioner, there was when people knew that there was even an office that they can go and complain. As FCT people. And we really appreciate you for that. Well, it's good to have you on the show this morning. Today, we're talking about something very important, Mazi. We're talking about some of the concerns that we've raised, even here on the show, Town Hall, because Town Hall meeting is everything that has to do with the FCT. Everything that has to do with the FCT. The good people of FCT, the culture, the heritage, the tourism, even the federal government staying in the FCT, everything that has to do with the good people and the place of FCT, where we all have our businesses, we have our home, we have our offices, and it should be a thing of concern to us. True. It's not a thing of, oh, these are the people of FCT, this is we. No, it's where you stay. It's where you do your business, where you raise your children. And that's why when we bring issues up, that these are the issues going on in the FCT, we also are happy that a lot of you come out to also speak, to say, yeah, these things should be done the right way. This morning we are talking about the issue of whether exclusion or inclusion of the people of FCT in some key areas in the FCT. I remember that this conversation did not only start today, Mazi. It started when Honorable Ezekiel, ended his tenure and he was walking away from PCC at the time. And the next thing, that there was an appointment of a gentleman to the PCC that time. I think it was former deputy governor of Kogi State, talking about His Excellency Edward Onoja, who was nominated to lead the PCC for the FCT. But then the good people of FCT also came out to say, no, we think this is extreme. We agree that we are one Nigeria. It's not a problem. But then allowing somebody who is not indigenous in our own states, in the FCT, it might not be the true representation of the FCT, because these persons might not even know some places in the FCT, and also how to speak to the people of the FCT in terms of what they need the government to also know and all of that. And graciously, that also was listened to, and then another person came on board who happens to be the former chairman of Buhari. I think they nicknamed him Obama.
No.
Is he the one?
Musa Diko.
Okay, Musa. Okay,
Obama is late.
Oh, Obama. Oh, may God rest his soul. Okay, so Musa Diko was now brought in, to replace His Excellency Edward Onoja at the time. Now we're talking about NCDC, which is not the NCDC, This is another one. This is actually the North Central Development Commission. A new commission that is looking to cater for the good people of North Central. And when we talk about North Central, we're talking about the FCT, we're talking about Benue, we're talking about Taraba, we're talking about Plateau, we're talking about Kogi, we're talking about Kwara, and looking
Niger.
And Niger. Yes,
State.
the Niger was what I was looking for, and I said Taraba. Looking at these good people as the good people of North Central, and looking at the peculiarity of what is going on and how the government can come in. These are initiatives brought by the government to move closer to the people and understand the plight of the people. And according to their act, again, there must be some level of representative in those clans. But then we saw that the FCT Stakeholders Assembly also brought out a press statement. And very fortunate, we now saw that Honorable Ezekiel, who is a member of the Town Hall meeting, is actually their spokesperson. I would say, what is going on? What are you saying? What's going on? And we took a listen to that. We also saw Daily Trust also put out that statement too, that the good people of FCT are saying, no, that there is something that is not fitting here. And then we saw again the honorable member representing the good people of Amak and Buhari Area Council also came out to say, no, there's something that is not correct in this. But before we go to Honorable Ezekiel to explain as the spokesperson, let's start from the gentleman from National Assembly, who is also representing the good people of Buhari Area Council and also AMAC. And take a listen to him, what he is saying about the appointment. The key conversation here is that the FCT people are not well represented in the board, because the board also said one person each must be represented in the board, whereas the good people of FCT are saying no. The person who is being brought forward is somebody from another state, which the state again is a beneficiary of the NCDC. Let's take a listen to Honorable Chinedu speak about this issue. Take a listen to him, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
People appointed in North Central as of today, you can see, if you come to Benue have 3, and there is another seat that is meant for FCT. I know that FCT belongs to all of us. It's still a person from Benue State representing it in FCT. But that is, let me put that by the side. FCT have a political structure. We have a senator elected. We have House of Representatives elected, 2 of us. We have 6 area council chairmen. We have 62 councillors, the 62 wards in FCT. This is FCT political structure. But at the level of the National Assembly, we are not being carried along. We are not consulted when such appointments are being carried out. That people who end up coming to hold that position don't have both political and cultural ties with FCT. And it's unacceptable to us. And I'm using this opportunity to appeal to the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the President of this Federation to make sure that the elected representatives from FCT are not neglected when it comes, or put aside when it comes to decision making on the issue as it affects FCT. What do you call me now? A member, House of Representatives. Who am I representing? Abuja Federal Constituency. And the issues of representation in commissions, in agencies that has to do with us, there is no consultation. That is not acceptable by us. And that should change. And that should stop. As a matter of fact, before this decision can be taken, it is our right and privilege to be called and have some discussions with us and seek for our own input as well. That is the way it should go. And not when this thing is coming from parliamentarians like us. That is expected. That is expected. We have to be giving our dues also by consulting the political structure that is here. In FCT, we don't have an elected minister, elected governor, but appointed. But there are people that the constituents of FCT has elected to represent them. We are their mouthpiece. We represent them here. We should, as a matter of right and privilege, be consulted before the appointments that are being made for FCT representation can be made. It's not that we owe the powers to say, no, you must appoint this person or not. But we should. And we are seeking for people who really have political and cultural ties to our common interests as FCT residents and original inhabitants. And that was not done. And this happened the last time when the appointment of a member from the PCC, Public Complaint Commission. Somebody again came that way from Kogi State. And we rejected that. And that was reconsidered again. Then later this one came. We can't keep going this route. We We can't keep going this way.
This one too will be reconsidered just as a brief.
I am pleading with Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who have been the best among all as far as FCT is concerned. I'm talking about FCT. FCT, Mr. President has done so much in the FCT since the inception of this dispensation. He's the president apart from the time of the military, because most of the infrastructure you see in Abuja was done by the military government. Call it.
All right, welcome back. I mean, you just listened to the voice of Honorable Joshua Chinedu Obika, who calls for some level of equity also, who is also a member representing the good people of FCT, Buhari Area Council, and also the AMAC Federal Constituency. Mazi, before we go to Honorable, what do you say? Because again, I mean, if you are talking about inclusion and people who are excluded, you also look at the gentleman who spoke. I mean, even from his name, you can't say he's from the FCT.
He's not FCT.
But then again,
but he spoke well.
Yes,
he spoke well. But I think that he has a great point. The FCT people, I've said it before. You remember when the military took, some land around the, when some indigents came to protest that the land was not, taken the right way. Do you understand me? So it looked like as if military was in their mind to forcefully, kick them out of that place to take the place. And I remember I said that the way the people of FCT has been, treated like they are outcast is unfair. They've made a lot of sacrifice to this nation. If it were to be some places, if you say you're relocating the Federal Capital Territory, you know what it's going to cost. I don't want to mention any particular part of the country. Now that you say, okay, we are moving Abuja and I want to relocate it here, you're going to take a lot of land from people. How are you going to do that? They will fight you, with everything they have. But these people, they've sacrificed enough, given enough. But when it comes to appointment, even at least, even if you don't make an FCT minister an FCT indigene, but at least let them have a reasonable number of, somebody that is an indigene serving as a minister, federal minister. They've not done that, but truthfully, I think the current administration has, tried. We'll give him credit on that. But if you check even from the military that we are talking about, I don't think that the people of FCT, has been treated as if they are part of this particular nation. There's a way you oppress people to a point. Even if I know we have the one that we call the toothless bulldog. You will go and borrow teeth to fight you. You understand? So I think the Honorable spoke well. That should be reconsidered. But I do not think that it's fair that every time you cheat them, they have to shout before you give them what is duly theirs. It's unfair. Because I am even looking that we should get to a point where we have a mayor for FCT, where at least those who are indigenous can actually participate in who governs them, who takes care of them. But now that we have as the constitution says, you have only a minister who takes care of FCT on behalf of the president. If you are not giving them that, other things that are due theirs, they should not fight for it. We created this North Central Development Commission, just like we've had, remember we had on Padek before we now moved to what's the name again, the current name, NCDC now. Yes. Now, there is also one, there's another commission apart from the one for North Central that is taking care of Borno and so on. I know that one, and Northeast. Thank you. It will be unfair that now you created one for North Central. Now you're bringing somebody from another state. They've already occupied their own space to take that belongs to FCT. That is injustice.
All right, let's go to Honorable Dalhatu. I mean, you spoke on behalf of the good people of FCT in that forum. I mean, where you had the press briefing. What exactly is the issue? Because I mean, one would also look at it that, I mean, is it not FCT? Are we not one? Why must we have this argument going forward? As long as the person will do a better job. I mean, is it not fair enough for the person to do his job, regardless where the person is from? Is it not all about the job and making sure that the job is done?
Well, let me thank you and Nigeria Info once again for this platform. You've been a jolly good friend and a jolly good fellow for the people of the FCT. I'm sure you have even gone beyond your corporate social responsibility by giving us airtime and giving us platform to stand for justice. And that's what the media always stands for, to report issues that has to do with development, justice, equity, and fairness. On this issue, let me just lay a background of what's actually happening. Just like we've all said, let me start by saying the major problem we have in this country is the inability for us to implement our own rules created by us. The rules we all set up by ourselves, for ourselves, is usually not being obeyed or implemented. I remember saying here on the platform that if only we can implement 40% of Nigeria Constitution, 40% of Nigeria Constitution, we will not have the kind of agitation we are having today. Almost everything is envisaged in that Constitution, in the spirit and letters of it. But the implementation has been the problem. We have not even implemented 15% of that Constitution. I'm recommending that if we can implement 40%, not 60, not 50 of Nigeria Constitution, clearly stating how people will enjoy certain rights, and then the government will still come by itself and deny you such rights. Clearly stating about the principle of federal character, equitable distribution of wealth, position, and all of that in the same Constitution. And then you will see people doing the opposite. This has been going on unabated. If we are crying about Nigerian Constitution as little and let's say as big as it is, now we have come down to the North Central Development Commission Act being narrowed to a nucleus, to like a family compound. And from its onset, from the foundation, look at what is happening. Let me read part of the act. You have it, Sahel.
Yes.
But let me just help the general public so that whatever I will say will be basically centered on it. You check from the preambles, from the preamble of that act, which if you will permit me to just read through briefly. Where's it? Sorry. So while I check through the preamble, the act itself, but you will see that this act did not drop from heaven. This act of establishing the North Central was actually made by our representatives at the National Assembly. People that were elected by Nigerians across the 36 states are the people who enact this act. Now, get the preamble. It says, the act establishing the North Central Development Commission charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation of federal account or federation accounts, right? For the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of communal crisis, as well as tackle ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the North Central states. Now, I go further to the act, talking about the states that makes up this North Central Development Commission. He said, there shall be, if you check part 1.
Yes.
Part 1, the heading is Establishment of the North Central Development Commission and the Governing Board. He said, there is established the North Central Development Commission in this act, referred to as commission. The commission shall be a body, corporate, all of that, you know about it.
Yes.
And then it now goes to subsection 2. talking about, okay, before we go to subsection, so he said, the commission shall be a body corporate with perpetual succession, right? And common seal, and may bisu or bisu is a normal language we know. The headquarters of the commission shall be in Lafia, Nasarawa State. Well stated and captured. You see, the framers were deliberate about envisaging any crisis.
Even location.
You know, when people make law, they envisage the future even 200 years ahead. So everything is not in ambiguity here. Well stated. Now, he said the commission's headquarters shall be where? Lafia, Nasarawa State. And subsection 2.1 say, there is established for the commission a governing board. In this act refers to as the board, which shall consist of 1. The chairman. B. One person who shall be an indigene or original inhabitant, as you may want to say it, to represent the member states, which includes the member states are Benue, FCT, and they say is in alphabetical order after all, just to avoid any misgiving. Benue, FCT, Kogi, Kwara, and Nasarawa states. Also Niger and Plateau. So you have 7 states that makes up the North Central Development Commission. Listen to see. 1 person each to represent the following security agency, organization, and all of that. You can just go on and on and on and on. And then when you go down, G said the managing director of the commission and 2 executive directors of the commission that have been amended. They have added more executive directors to capture more.
Let's go for a quick break. Come on.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
This is Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. 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 This is Nigeria Info.
is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This 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 is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Morning. Mazi Destiny Anthony is here. Honorable Ezekiel Dalhatu is also here this morning. And then he was going through the act for the North Central Development Commission just before he lays also his argument this morning. And then we're looking at some part of it to say what it gives, what it empowers, and what it does not. You were on
talking about the composition
yes.
of the board members.
Yes.
2 said the chairman and other members of the board shall be appointed by Mr. President, subject to the confirmation of the Senate in consultation with the House of Representatives. You hear our House of Representative member lamenting too that he wasn't consulted. And then also persons of proven integrity and ability. Also that the members of the board referred to in subsection 1 and A and B shall be part-time members. The supplementary provision set out in the schedule to this act shall have effect with respect to the proceeding of the board and other matters contained in it. See the interesting part here again. Subject to the provision of section 4 of this act, a member of the board other than an ex-official member shall hold office for a term of 4 years at the first instance and may be reappointed for further time of 4 years and all that. The office of the chairman, listen, I want you to take note of this.
Okay.
The office of the chairman shall rotate among the member states of the commission in alphabetical order. You see, everything done here is deliberate, sir. And I applaud the framers of this act. They really do. There is no way the National Assembly will do an act like this that you will not owe it and also applaud it. Just read this again. That the office of the chairman of the board shall rotate among the member states of the commission in alphabetical order. 1, Benue. Meaning if the chairman of the board is in Benue today, the next one, B,
will be
FCT. It's written here. C, Kogi. D, Kwara. E, Nasarawa. F, Niger. And then Plateau. So that people don't use power, people don't use unnecessary muzzle to muzzle out for the position of the chairmanship. It's well spelled out how it should rotate. My brother, I just read part of the first layer of this, the first part of this act, establishing it, and from its foundation, saying an indigene from every state, member states that we mention, shall be represented. It's not should though. Shall is a compulsory time. It's a time that cannot be changed except with the amendment of this act. As we speak, sir, when we saw the appointment of this commission, though after applauding the establishment of the commission, and we are very happy as the people of FCT who feel so marginalized on so many other things, just like you rightly said, I'm not sure what is happening to the people of FCT can happen anywhere. Once upon a time, lest you forget your history quickly, the capital of this nation was once in Lokoja, in Kogi State. Then it was nothing like Kogi State. It was once in Lokoja. Then, if you talk about it, years back, it was moved to Calabar before going to Lagos. And finally returned back to FCT. Ask yourself and find out what were the reasons why these things were not left where they were. The government meant stringent brick walls of the people that they made to establish the capital of this nation. Check your history and ask questions. The people of FCT, as peaceful as we are, and other Nigerians can testify, there is no way anybody will tell us that FCT is a virgin land. The name Musa, the name Karu, the name Nyanya, the name Kukwaba here, the name Asokuru, the name even what's it called, Metama, did not fall from heaven. These are ancestral names of villages of people that have been in this land centuries before the coming of FCT. There are original inhabitants that have occupied this place. Why do you have Department of Resettlement and Compensation? To compensate who? To resettle who? If there were nobody to resettle. And year in, year out, there was a budget for it. See, you see, the problem we have is just like I lay a background. When we make law as good as the law and decide to look away and be doing something else, that is where you have anarchy and unnecessary and avoidable crisis. You have an act that spelled out how this commission should be run, how members should be selected from each state. As we speak, what we saw the appointment, Benue, just like the act said, to occupy the chairmanship position. Remember, it's rotational. Yes. And by a political alphabetical order, Benue is first to be followed by FCT. As we speak, Benue has occupied the chairmanship position of the commission by the act. So the chairman is from Benue. Benue has an executive director appointed in the appointment. And just like the act says, to have executive director and member from member states, there is a member again representing Benue in the appointment released. And lo and behold, the slots meant for FCT is being occupied again by Solomon Adodo, who is from Benue State. So by implication, Benue has 4 representatives in the commission.
But one would say, do you have this on good authority that the gentleman you just mentioned, his name is from Benue State?
No, I'm sure the gentleman is not, he's a man of his word. He's a young man that I respect so much, He cannot come and deny his identity. When you take anybody's NIN number, for instance, to make it even shorter, and click on it, it will display where you are coming from. And even without even NIN number, he knows where he's coming from. I can't call him somebody who has no identity. No, he has his identity. He knows he's from Benue State. And the constitution is clear about it. The act is clear about it. Appoint an indigenous, original inhabitant from each of the states. In the principle of federal character that talks about equity, fairness in appointment, so you don't have a dominance of one side as against the other. How do you explain that a commission that is now brought down to the grassroots, to the people, and is formed and clearly stated with member state, with FCT inclusive, that the commission will run with nobody from FCT being represented? And the commission is to talk about development, projects, rebuilding houses that have been destroyed as a result of disaster or what, which FCT is facing that endemic crisis that you know about. So all of that will happen, and where will they get their funding from? Federation account. That all of us are supposed to be part of it. But in the real sense of it, its implementation, nobody from the FCT. No, it's an aberration, and this should not fly. Just like we talk about, you're talking about elected position. If you check,
because one would also say one would also say, Honorable Ezekiel, what do you now say about the distinguished senator? What do you say even about Honorable Joshua Chinedu? I mean, we don't like to talk about regions here. Yeah. We don't like it. But then when you even look at their names, you also see that somehow maybe they've stayed in the FCT for so long, following the constitution that if you've been in a place you can naturalize there and all of that. Now, won't that also be permissive for the case of the gentleman?
Now, until the Electoral Act or the Constitution is changed, the federal character is silent about elective positions. You cannot now in Nigeria say because this man is from Enugu and he's staying in Lagos, he cannot be elected into position. If he's elected into any position, it is you that elected him. Federal character is clear about elective position. It does not say anything about it. And until and unless, again, the Constitution is changed to have the entire National Assembly, how do you say about that? The entire National Assembly, both Senate and House of Reps, to serve as House of Assembly for the people of the FCT. Until that is also changed. There are other things like that. But when you come to appointment into political position, the federal character is clear about it. And this act also is clear about it. So that Chinedu is House of Rep, Ereti is Senate, does not go to validate the abeyance and acting a controversy in contravening the act that established the commission and also the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's clear. You cannot deprive anybody the right to be voted and be voted for. It's enshrined in the Constitution. But when you come to appointments into position, especially political appointment, the Constitution and the Act of Federal Character is very, very clear about it. Are you talking about the appointment of ministers, which is the apex to start with? The Constitution is clear about it that an indigene from the 36 states shall be nominated by Mr. President. And that includes FCT. And all glory and thanks to Mr. President who have changed the narrative of the long walk to I call it long trek to freedom of the people of the FCT. I'm writing a book on that already, to have given us a minister who is an indigene from there. So if that precedent is being set and is for the right purpose in tandem with the spirit and letters of the Constitution, why do we now want to change the goalpost in the middle of the game to enact and incite unnecessary civil unrest in the people? Let me tell you for free, please. The people of the FCT, if we don't all come together, rally around them, and ensure that this injustice is not meted to them, we may look at it as if it's their matter. But one day, we'll all gather here and lament. I say it any day, any time. I am Chairman, National Peace Security, FCT. I'm interested in the peace and the peaceful coexistence of Nigerians who are all here. And we should do those things that will promote this peace. And not these things that will make these people feel rejected, feel so sidelined, feel so marginalized, emasculate their right and deprive them of their constitutional right that can endanger and cause any unnecessary. This should not be encouraged by other Nigeria, because injustice to one is injustice to everybody, anywhere.
But Mazi, you wanted to say something?
No, my concern is, could it be that this, from what we've had now, it looks like Benue State is dominating that particular commission? Could it be because the chairman is from there, and maybe that's why he's exerting this so much? Because why I'm saying this is that one day that position is going to move to another part.
It will move to FCT, following the
FCT, so, and you have FCT occupying the space of Nasarawa, Niger, and other people.
No, Mazi, let me just chip in. Now that it's clear in the act, indigene represent your state. Now Benue is chairman representing Benue, right? Chairman of the commission. The next it will move to FCT.
FCT.
So you think it's very okay to still have someone from Benue who will claim he can clinch to the position of chairman again from FCT?
Yeah.
That is not wisdom in it. That is why in the wisdom of the framers, they made it clear. Indigenous, original inhabitant of that state.
That state, yeah.
Do you think it will have been a normal situation as it is now, that the representative of the guy from Benue, the person representing Benue State, should have come from Kogi State, an Igbiraman from Kogi State, known to be an Igbiraman from Kogi State, to represent Benue? Do you think...
Honorable, what's in a case if the gentleman was born and buttered in the FCT and have grown in the FCT, schooled in the FCT to this point? Would you still rather say he's still Benue and not FCT?
So now, when you talk of born here, school here, you are still even narrating and tracing an origin to somewhere. We say original inhabitant. Is he an original inhabitant? He's not. He's coming from somewhere. And in the wisdom of the framers of this act, coming from somewhere, for the fact that you have come from somewhere, you have settled there, don't take away the portion of what they should enjoy for equity, fairness, and justice. There are many people now who all their life they were born and bred in Lokoja, but they are from Plateau, for instance. Is it okay that in the formation of commission like this, they should carry the only representative of the person from Kogi and give that person from Plateau simply because he was born and he has been there for years? So there are other things you could do with, like, I can never be against people who have come to reside with us in the FCT. Assuming there is even 3 positions to be shared. And in the FCT, you have people you do politics with. You have people you do a lot of things to. They share in your you have been together. You have 3-4 positions to share. And if you take 3 and say, these people have been with us, let them take 1. Or you take 2 and say, you understand, you say, but the only thing meant for you is being taken away. Added to people who already have 3. How do you explain this? How do you explain this? We have been with people, in fact, I can tell you for free, that a lot of people who see the injustice meted to the FCT people and they render their service pro bono as lawyers, people who give support with their physical self to come out and are not original inhabitants, but they share because a lot of them came and stayed with us. Now, let me give you a narrative that maybe I don't want to take you emotional. I know of persons that came into Abuja with nylon bag from their states, not even having an accommodation or where to stay. A lot of them stay with us in Kabusa, in Gariki, suburb very close to the town. And then stay with us, squat with us, ate the kind of food we eat. And over sometimes some of them, there are Igbo guys today that can speak Gbagi fluently. There are Yoruba that can speak Gwanda. They're not indigenous tribe. Depending on where you settle, there are persons like that can. Why? Because they have been here with that nylon. They stay here, schooled here, start hustling on the streets, and boom, as God providence will make it, one of their brother was made minister or thereabout or whatever thing, and opportunity availed himself. The same person who came with nylon and was squatting with us in Garki village today have houses in Maitama and Wuse. And there is no single indigenous person that have beefed him or that is keeping malice or angry with him to even leech and say, why did you come? And today you are doing well, I'm still in Garki village. Instead, our people will go to housewarming with him. Warm that house with him and celebrate with him, and they are happy because this person who have lost count of people like that. You can see the kind of human being that other Nigerians have come to meet here in Abuja.
I mean, looking at what you just said, is it not possible to say this gentleman is also might come out to say, you know what, I'm open-handed. I want the FCT people to support me to achieve this position.
But all we are saying, follow the act. What you are talking about is friendship, but it cannot be more important
than the
act.
Right.
Because that is a law is a law. You can't change it. Because the law say don't go and slap somebody. Then somebody went and slapped another person. Then you came and say, no, this is my brother. we are friends, so please let's leave it at that. No, the law is the law. This act did not fall from heaven.
All right.
Enacted, signed by Mr. President.
Let's go to the phone line. It's 10:48 now. Let's go to the phone line 0700 951 0000. WhatsApp is 00399 30137. Call us if you can spend 30 seconds, 40 max. We would really appreciate. Hafsat Mazo on YouTube says, can other people from other states participate in FCT elections? Of course. Except if you are saying you want to come out for something, but to go and do election, to go and vote, except if I don't understand Hafsat's question. Say, can people?
Yes, you can participate. Participation is participation.
Yeah.
So that's why I say the constitution is clear about we cannot use that to just oppose.
And she also went on to say, good morning, great people. We really appreciate your efforts. Always well done, the elders. All right. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hello. Oh my!
Chris, where are you calling from?
I could even barely hear him. I just know that voice sounded like him.
Easy.
Chris, you might want to use the WhatsApp call if the line is not clear where you are. On Facebook here, Dan Lami Salisu says, good morning, Effizy, and good morning to my leader and comrade Dalhatu, Ezekiel. I'm joining the conversation all the way from Zaria in Kaduna State. Thank you so much, Dan Lami. We appreciate you. Also, Francis Inamani says he's joining the conversation from
Enugu.
Yes, from Enugu State. He says, good morning, Effizy, and keep up the good work. We appreciate you. And let's go to WhatsApp right now. Who do we have here? Okay, this is not for us. And then this is also not for us. But you can call us up on 0700 951 0000. WhatsApp is 0039993037. Hello? Yes, good morning.
Line is still bad. Chris,
do you want to move? Do you want to move away from where you are? Oh, Mazi, can you hear Chris?
Chris, you're calling us from the coven.
Chris, call us.
We can't hear you.
Call us on WhatsApp. Let's go here. Hello, good morning to you. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Effizy, how are you?
I'm very well, sir. Good morning to you, sir.
Hello.
Hello? Yes, sir. We can hear you.
My greetings to MC Gidagida. My name is Comrade Abdul Wahab Ekehide.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, this is something we are very interested in. I must tell you, I want to concur with Honorable Dalhatu today that the FCT has not only been marginalized, they have been, on this issue, they have been totally ended. And I think it's not right. And I think it's not just a struggle that will be left for the indigenous habitat. It has to be all of us who are, including you, Effizy, because, and I thank you for this opportunity of bringing a platform to talk about this. This is injustice as far as I'm concerned. You had the act as written as it's not the FCT people that wrote the act. The act was written by people who are knowledgeable, and they put it there that each state should be represented by an indige. It's not ambiguous. And when you say an indige, for instance, I adopted the FCT. I've lived here for so long, for decades, and I play politics here. They can trace to my ward. I have followers. Currently, I'm the chairman of the APC South Forum in the FCT. So, but I cannot claim I'm from Edo State. But I cannot claim to say, okay, I'm now an indigenous person. No, but what we say when you talk about justice, it must be fair. There must be equity. People cannot be marginalized to the extent that you deny them what is constitutionally given to them.
All right, comrade.
Given to them, you deny them.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, comrade. Appreciate you. He left us with a question there. Let's see if we can take others before we go for a quick break. Let's go to WhatsApp. Looks like some people have resorted to just doing a voice note instead of calling because of the network. Let's take this one.
Good morning, Effizy, and good morning to your guests in the studio. My name is Jamal. My little contribution will be this. In as much as your guess is actually on point, and the law is the law, like you said. And I don't see where what I'm not saying here is not talking about competence. You understand? And in as much as I support equity, fairness, and justice, if the person is competent to represent the people of the FCT, you understand? Why shouldn't he represent fully as he's supposed to represent? You know? And I don't know. I just tend to have a feeling about the assembly readdressing this issue of the federal character, and then the issue of competence and honesty with Nigerians. You know, that's my view.
All right, Jamal, thank you. You spoke about competence. Let's take this one, then we'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll come to you, sir. Hello? Uh-oh. All right, he spoke about competence. But I'm afraid that if you start talking, we might get into the break. So maybe we'll go for the break and we'll come back. Okay. Because it's also another part of the conversation to look at. So maybe the guy is competent.
You know the angle. You know what I want, the angle. I'm from a royal home, I'm a prince. Imagine you from, let's say, the Kogi, right? You've lived in my community for, let's say, 50 years. And we've known you all our life. And then you wake up and you say you want to be our traditional ruler.
Because there is no competent person.
Because you're confident. You want to be a traditional ruler.
No, because I can break cola more than you, Mazi.
Because there is no competent person in your clan.
Let's go for a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
This is Nigeria Info.